Can I come in at 1:30? Can you come in at 3? Well, can I come in at 1:30? I need to drop my kid off or whatever. Can you come in at 3? Can you come in at 1:30? Like, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're not subscribed to my channel, then please take a second to subscribe. I'll wait. Some of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube are the story time videos, and I was watching a couple of them the other day, and then I was like, you know what, I have my own little story time video. I personally don't believe in gossiping and sharing, pouring tea, serving tea just for the sake of it. There is going to be a lesson and a moral to this story that I'm about to tell you guys, okay? It's a lesson for all my fellow hairdressers and young beginner hairstylists out there, and just for anybody in the workplace. As you can tell by the title, I'm going to tell you guys the story of the time I got fired from a salon. The first and only time that I got fired from a salon. So let me set the scene for you guys. I started working at this salon last spring / early summer. Prior to this, I had been working at a high-end salon. As soon as I got my cosmetology license, I started there as an assistant. I was also a makeup artist there along with the owner. We were the only two people who did makeup at that salon, and I was the only person who did brows. As time went on, eventually I decided to leave just because I did want to come back to the area where I'm from in Los Angeles. I had a great experience. I learned so much. I was honestly very lucky to get that position because, like I said, it was at a high-end, top-notch salon. I mean, this salon is featured in Vogue, Elle, every high-end fashion beauty magazine. And I'm just trying to paint a picture for you guys of the type of environment that I was trained in. I'm very grateful. I still have so much love and respect for all the girls there. I left on a good note. So when I left, I started working at this salon in a different city. So since I was still technically an assistant in Santa Monica, I was looking for other assistant jobs because I didn't have the confidence within myself to be a full-time stylist. I also forgot to mention that at the first salon that I ever worked at, not only did I do all the things that I mentioned, but I also worked as a receptionist there, and when the manager was not there, I was the person who managed the salon, okay? I go to the interview for this new salon, and they want to hire me as a receptionist / assistant. So pretty much the same thing that I had already been doing at the salon previously, but this was I would only be working part-time hours doing reception and assistant work, and then I would clock out midday, like 1 or 2 o'clock, and then work as a stylist for the rest of the day. Okay, so I was like, okay, that's a pretty good deal because that allows me to kind of get my feet wet as a full-time stylist, because again, at the time I didn't have the confidence within myself to work as a full-time stylist. I went to the interview, everything went smoothly. We agreed that I'm gonna work as receptionist / assistant, I think for 4 days a week or so, and any time that I wasn't doing that, so it was probably maybe 20 hours a week that I would be doing that type of work, and then the rest of the time I could bring in my own clients and whatever. Everything was good to my knowledge, and I started this job, right, and I thought that things were going smoothly, except I will say that I got a weird vibe from 2 of the main stylists, but I was kind of like, it's probably just me, you know, I'm new, whatever. It takes time to get acclimated to new environments for everybody. So over the course of a couple of weeks, sometimes they would ask me if the salon was busy during a particular day and it was time for me to clock out. They'd ask me like, oh, well, can you stay, instead of clocking out at 2 or whatever, can you stay until 5? And I'd be like, okay, cool, yeah, sure. If I didn't have a client, then sure, why not, I'll stay. And then as time went on, they wanted to try to change my schedule permanently. So instead of staying till 2, they wanted me to change my schedule to stay doing reception and assistant work till 5 or 6, right? This is exactly what I told them. I was like, you know what? It's fine. If you guys need me and I don't have a client, then by all means, I'll stay and help you guys. I'm a team player. However, if I have a client, then I'm not gonna stay and work at the front desk until 5 or 6 because That's not what I went to school for. I didn't say that. But I said if I have a client at that time, then I'm gonna clock out. So the only way I'm gonna stay until 5 working the front desk is if I don't have a client, because that is what we initially agreed upon. At that point, I started to push back, if you will, and I started to stand my ground, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's lesson number 1 of this whole story. So I'm gonna give you a couple examples of really weird or shady events that happened there. And there were like 2 and then 1 other person. I kind of felt like, I think you're a hater. You know when you get that vibe where you're like, are you a hater? Are you jealous? I don't know why, but are you jealous? You know girls when you get that from another girl. One little incident that happened is that one of my guy friends came in, right? He has short hair, and I was going to cut his hair and then bleach it out. He has very, very dark hair. He's Asian. But I was gonna bleach his hair out to like a platinum blonde. So he comes in, we have a little consultation. There's another stylist who is, I guess, near me, so she's listening to my conversation. We do a little consultation, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna color your hair first and then I'll cut it. So I start walking to the color room to mix my color, right? And then she stops me. She has a client in her chair, okay? And then she stops me, she's like, you should actually cut his hair first, then color it. And I was like, first of all, let me tell you guys, the reason why I was gonna color his hair first, then cut it, is because I'm doing a men's tight haircut on him, okay? When I use that trimmer on your neck, there may be very, very microscopic tears on the skin. But he has very, very dark hair, and I'm bringing it all the way up to platinum blonde. I'm gonna have to use like a 40 volume on his hair. So why would I cut his hair, take a razor, you know, around his neck and his hairline, and then put 40 volume bleach on top of that? It would irritate his skin, so it doesn't make sense, okay? So what I said to her, I was like, I'm actually gonna color his hair first and then I'm gonna cut it. I've done this before. And then I just walked to the color room and proceeded to mix my color as I had initially planned. And she didn't say anything. I don't think she liked that, but whatever, I don't care. So I'm gonna tell you about another story, which, by the way, my friend's hair came out fabulous the time that I bleached his hair out and cut it. I'm a trained colorist. I have been trained to cut hair, but I have been heavily trained in color, more so than cutting hair. And I only do women's hair. So at the time, I was trying to expand my horizon, and I wanted to learn how to cut men's hair, how to perfect it, because I know how to do a general men's haircut, but I wanted to be amazing at it. The only way that you become great at something within hair or makeup, but I guess anything, is by practicing it. So at the time, I was bringing in male models to do haircuts on their hair so that way I could learn and practice. One day, the whole salon, we all went to this event, and then after the event was kind of like an after party kind of thing. It was like a hair event, and there was an after party, and then I was talking to these 2 guys, and then one of the guys, I was like, hey, you know what, I am looking for hair cutting models, so I'd like it if you can come in to cut my hair, so that way I can cut your hair. And he was like, yeah, cool, I'll come in, whatever. So this girl came in and started talking to us, the hater, one of the haters, one of many. She came in and started talking to us, and she told the guy like, oh yeah, you should come see like the owner of the salon for a haircut and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you guys what she said. So the guy told her, he was like, oh, I'm not gonna go see him, I'm gonna come in for Brittney because she's gonna use me as a model. And then in front of my face, she was like, well, I've never seen Brittney do a men's haircut. And it's like, bitch, why do you even care? He's coming in as a model for me. Don't you want to support your fellow stylist? So then when she walked away, that guy was like, what was her problem? What was her vibe? And I was like, I don't know. And then he was like, I'm still gonna come in to see you. Something else happened that night where we were in downtown LA, so this homeless guy was rolling down the street in his wheelchair, and he said something with the N-word because it was a black homeless guy. And then, you know, it's the way that you say it in rap songs, which I'm not going to say right now, but then she repeated what he said, but she said it with the ER, okay? She was like, oh, he just said I forgot what sentence is it. He just says something and then the N word with the ER, and I was like, mind you, I'm the only black person who works there. Totally inappropriate, totally unprofessional, totally just like, I'm kidding. I'm getting kind of mad just thinking about it right now. Other times I would walk into a room and then it would get quiet. And you know, girls, you have that intuition. You just feel like, were you just talking about me? But for me, again, I always give people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes to a fault, apparently. Apparently, it's to a fault. But again, I'm like, maybe it's just in my head. Maybe I haven't been here very long. Because, I mean, I only worked there a total of 2 to 3 months maximum. But let me tell you this one story, you guys. This one Saturday, it was super busy because it was prom weekend for the local high school. It was a very tight-knit salon, and then it had two floors to it. Upstairs were people who just rented their chair. They were not affiliated with the salon. They were their own separate entity, but they just rented a chair. And if you work in the salon business, then you know the difference between employees and people who just rent chairs, okay? One day, super busy day, it's prom day, and one of the stylists, in the middle of his appointment, he gets sick, and I could see his face is just like flushed, like he's about to pass out or something. He's like flushed, and he goes to the bathroom for a couple minutes, and then I go in there to check on him. I'm like, are you okay? Do you want me to, like, what do you want me to do? Again, being the excellent employee that I was, I want to make sure everybody's okay, you're comfortable, what do you need me to do? So he's like, I can't do it. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take over it. And he's like, oh my gosh, thank you. He's in the middle of like an updo, okay? So I take over, I finish this girl's hair for prom, I do her makeup, and then I think I did someone else's hair and makeup for that day that was on his books because he was out, like he couldn't do it anymore. But I was managing the front desk as well as finishing the clients that this stylist could not finish, okay? So one of the renters from upstairs, he came down because he knew it was a huge fiasco, and he, I guess he probably did like one updo or something like that. It was pretty mediocre. I think I've seen better updos done in beauty school. So then that prom event happened. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I kind of saved the day because this stylist had a full book of prom clients. You can't cancel the day of on clients. But I get it. Sometimes your body, I don't know, maybe he had the flu or something. I don't know, maybe he was hungover. Who knows? So the next week comes, the following week, it's like the Monday, and then the owner comes, and because he wasn't there the prom Saturday. He's like, oh, I heard you guys had like a tough time Saturday, but I'm glad you guys were able to pull through, and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And then the hating, you know what, now that I'm like, she's the #1 hater. The #1 hater was like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to say Joe. Joe, the renter from upstairs. Yeah, Joe was like a total rock star. He was a total trooper. He like came in and like just helped. This guy did one updo. He doesn't even know how to do makeup. He was unable to do makeup, okay? And I took over 2 people, hair and makeup. And when she said that, she was like, yeah, Joe was like a total trooper. She's a total rock star. And then she like looked at me like that, and I think the owner like looked at me too. Nothing was said, and it's like, hello. I don't get any credit for what I did, but I was just like, okay. That was one of many instances where I was not given credit for going out of the way, okay? And I did that quite frequently. That's just who I am in work. I go out of my way to make people happy. Let me tell you guys the straw that broke the camel's back and why I got fired. One day, it was a Saturday, and it was kind of a slower day. And I was gonna go to a wedding later on that evening. But I was working that day. It was very, very slow. I was chatting with one of the stylists I personally felt like I was maybe the closest to. Like, he was cool as far as I knew. He probably was a hater too, but who knows. But he was cool. He was nice. Whenever we were chatting, and I told him like, oh, I'm going to a wedding later on and whatever. So he knew I was going to a wedding. the day goes on. I take care of like whatever I was supposed to take care of that day and blah 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 blah, and it's still early, it's super slow, the salon is dead. And he's like, you know what, since you have to go to that wedding, just start getting ready now and you can leave, like I'll like take care of this, like you can leave, whatever. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, go ahead, leave, because it was a couple hours early. He's like, yeah, just get ready, like you still need to do your makeup, because I brought my clothes and everything to get ready for the wedding later on. I was like, are you sure? He was like, yeah, get ready for the wedding. Like, go, I'll take care of it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm there. I'm doing my hair, putting on my makeup. I change into my outfit and whatever, go to the wedding. I think I was set to start working in Tuesday, but that Monday, the owner texted me. He's like, hey, Brittany, can you come in to talk later on? And to me, at this point, I'm like, no, because I kind of felt like there was an issue or I was gonna get fired or something. I just felt it in my soul. So I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, like, logically, I'm like, I'm not gonna drive to the salon to get fired. I'm not gonna do it. I was like, no, I can't come in, but you can call me. A couple hours later, he calls me. He's like, hey, so, you know, so-and-so, the guy who said that I could leave and that he would take care of whatever was left. So-and-so told me that you left early on Saturday and, you know, yeah, the trash wasn't taken out and just stupid shit, okay? And I'm like, and you were, you know, doing your makeup and stuff like this. And I'm like, okay, well, so-and-so, let's call him Robert. Well, Robert said that it was okay if I left because he knew I had to go to the wedding and that he would take care of whatever that there was left and whatever, and the salon was slow and whatever. So, you know what? I apologize for listening to him. And he's like, yeah, well, I didn't hear about that, but you know what? I just think that, you know, I just feel like you're not happy with your job, you know, doing reception work and stuff like that. And, you know, I get it. I know you want to work on the floor and I know you want to be a stylist and whatever, but yeah, that's just, it's just not going to work out. And I was like, okay. He was like, what did he say? He was like, yeah, so I mean, I want to support young stylists, and if you want to come and use our space to bring your clients here, then that's perfectly fine, but we're just not going to give you any clients. And I was like, thank you for that offer, but I won't be taking you up on that. As if I'm desperate. This is what I said to him. You know what, I'm not going to take you up on that offer, but just as a little tip, if you want to hire somebody as a receptionist or an assistant, then I suggest you hire somebody who's in beauty school or who has just finished beauty school. And then that was it. And I didn't talk to him ever again. They sent me my last check. And actually, you know what? I still had stuff at the salon, and I sent my boyfriend to go pick it up because I was like, I never want to see you guys again. And yeah, you could say that I'm holding a grudge. I'm not even holding a grudge. It's just that I just felt so disrespected there and so not valued there. And you should have seen, you guys, I'm not even trying to talk right now, okay? But on one day, this girl who did makeup, she did makeup on this girl, and like her foundation was like, you know, that mask kind of foundation where you don't blend it down to the neck. And it's like, what kind of respectable makeup artist doesn't know that you blend down to the neck? And this girl, the one who told me not how I should do my client, like, why would you stop in the middle of doing your client to tell me what to do with my client? Thank God that my client was my friend, so he was like chill or whatever. But if that was just a regular client, imagine if you're at a salon and your client sitting in the chair, your stylist is about to go mix your color, and another stylist is like, oh no, don't do that, you shouldn't do that, you should. Wouldn't you worry? Wouldn't you think like, oh, well, does this girl know what she's doing? Like, wouldn't she, why, if it was that important to her, wouldn't she like stop and go to the color room and be like, Brittany, you know, I don't think you should do this because this is gonna happen. Like, whatever the case may be. Like, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do, okay? I have been licensed longer than you, and I hope by some chance in hell that one of you guys is watching this right now. I've worked in scenarios that you have never even been in. You're gonna tell me how to do my client? You're gonna stop your client to try to tell me how to do my client? You got me. So yeah, they fired me pretty much. And then after I hung up, I was like, oh, well, that sucks. But then at the same time, it's like, as time went on with that job, the more I got there every single day, I was like, God, this is so dreadful. God, like, I'm gonna have to be fake and fake and fake and fake and fake and fake. And I can't work in an environment where I'm fake. I'm not used to working in an environment where people smile in your face and they're like, yeah, could you not say yeah? And you know. Oh, let me tell you a quick little story. I'm sorry, you guys, to keep going, but one day the girl, like, she was listening to me on the phone, and I guess the client was like, oh, can I come in at 1:30, or do you have availability at 1:30? And I'm like, oh, well, no, we don't have availability at 1:30, but how about this day or this time, whatever. Got off the phone, she's like, you know, for clients, never say no. And instead of saying no, we don't have that time open, then just suggest another time, but don't say no. And it's like, okay, so if somebody's like, can I come in at 1:30? Can you come in at 3? Well, can I come in at 1:30? I need to drop my kid off or whatever. Can you come in at 3? Can you come in at 1:30? Like, if people aren't gonna be like, oh, well, no, I'm not gonna come in because you said no. The best formula, let me tell you, girl, if you're watching, the best formula for booking clients is to say 1:30 is unavailable. We're booked at that time, but I do have this available. Do you know why that's the best formula? That's the best formula because, one, it shows that you're booked and that you have clients coming in. And then you're also offering her a time that works for her. You're not beating around the bush and being fake. You know what? I can't be fake. I can't be fake. But anyway, let me tell you guys the moral of the story. First moral of the story is you do have to be honest with yourself and assess your skills. You do have to realize, okay, am I good at this? Am I not? And every stylist is different. Some people are great at color, but not great at cuts. Some people are amazing at blowouts, but not good at men's haircuts. Whatever it is, you do have to assess your skill. However, don't ever sell yourself short. Because like I said, I went into that job as an assistant / receptionist, and I was looking at people work, the way that they worked, and the work that they were putting out. And it was not amazing. It was not stellar. Another thing is, stick up for yourself. Don't be afraid to say, what's that supposed to mean when you see this guy walking down the street with his wheelchair, and then you repeat what he says and say the N-word with the ER. What is that supposed to mean? And why would you say that? Why would you ever think that that's appropriate to say? Especially in front of a black person. Put people on the spot. Don't be afraid to put people on the spot. Another thing is, especially for girls out there, the fact of the matter is there are so many jealous women out there. And something that I've learned and come to realize is it's not going to be like super blatant, like, oh, Brittney, I'm jealous of you. Jealous people are not going to say that they're jealous, because then that's admitting a weakness, okay? If you can admit that you're jealous, then kudos to you, because at least you're admitting a weakness and a flaw within yourself. That's fine, okay? We're not perfect. But the fact of the matter is, especially between women, there's going to be jealousy, especially if you're great at what you do, but especially if you're young, especially if your makeup is popping, especially if your hair is blowing in the wind, especially if your nails are on point. There are going to be certain girls who are going to be jealous of you. That is the reality. And you don't need to rub it in their face, because sometimes they just need to get to know you to be like, okay, I'm not a threat, okay? But I don't really truly understand that mentality, because I am not a hater. If I see somebody who's bomb, somebody who is amazing at what they do, I want to learn from them. Personally, that's just how I am. And maybe some of you out there who are watching this who might be a hater, you can take some notes. Because instead of hating on another woman, why don't you learn from that woman? Whatever it is, learn from them. Support each other, okay? Jealousy isn't always blatant and blunt, like, I'm jealous of you, you know, or you think you're all that because whatever, fill in the blank, which that's another video. I'm sorry that you guys had to see me get ghetto for a second. I try to keep it classy for the most part, but when I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have like a temper that's just, if I get up here, then it's just gonna go. Moral of the story is, don't sell yourself short. When you know that your resume has some important, like, your resume is like good, okay, your resume is good, don't sell yourself short. When you decide to take, oh, let me start off at a lower position, I could do better, but let me start off at a lower position because I want to learn more. Even if you take that position, if they start treating you like a slave, if they want to keep you down here when you're trying to get up here, then it's time for you to go. Don't sell yourself short. All you young stylists out there, let me tell you, people in the world, people are going to use you if you allow yourself to get used. Don't allow yourself to be used. Don't allow yourself to be disrespected. Okay? That's the moral of the story. So anyway, you guys, before my heart rate keeps going up, because I'm ready to fight right now. Okay. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little story time video. Hope it was kind of helpful for some of you. Give you guys some advice in life and dealing with these people. Sometimes, girl, don't... I need to get off this camera. So anyway, if you're not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Have you ever dealt with a situation like this? Have you ever dealt with haters in the workplace? Do you doubt yourself when it comes to haters? And also, have you ever sold yourself short in a work environment or anything like that? Leave your comments down below. I would love to read them. If you're not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and all that other social media stuff, which will be down below. Other than that, you guys will see me in my next video. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.